What
do you got?
I got Warbringer. Where is it? There we are. Yeah. I'm
Is
not
that
very good at the
what's his
Josh
name's
Josh Barnett
Josh
is part of
Barnett's? Yeah,
that.
yeah. That's
Um
it. I heard it's really
I've been
good.
itching to try it, and we were out. We went out to dinner the other night over at the chef's table where you and I went, Steve, and we were
Okay.
talking about it. And I was like, man, I gotta find that. And I went online and I ordered it, and it just got here yesterday or whatever. So I figured
How
I'd
is it?
pour a glass and see what it's like. It's a little smoky campfire. It's a little twang, of voice
Little
coil in
voice
there,
coil.
a little bit.
All
It
right,
smells
little.
like a little bit of like a nice clean early day slamology demo. Not quite like Laforgue where it's like late
Yeah.
afternoon Saturday where
Yeah.
you're all
Everything's super awful.
where you're in Drew's truck and you're like, there's sparks coming out, and he's like, yeah, they stay. It does.
Dude,
It's
that
been doing
sub,
that for 6 years. I'm like,
dude, that sub was in there until like late last year, and it finally let go one night.
Yeah.
But when
that's
it
good
let
stuff.
go, it let go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. Good evening, Eric. I'm glad that you tried that because I've heard a lot about that certain whiskey you got there. I've heard it's really good. So, yeah,
So
I'm drinking
earlier, I think it was
805s.
earlier today. Garrick made a post, and he was like, "From now on, I'm not posting anything car audio related or cars anymore." And
Made it 45 minutes.
totally thought he was joking. And I was like, until further, I was like, is further notice going to be in like 3 minutes? And apparently he was pretty frustrated, and he made that post being for real. And my joke didn't come across as much of a joke as it should have, and he was kind of frustrated with me. And I did not mean to be a dickhead. I thought I was being funny. I thought he was being funny, and I was like, further notice until further notice, and then and then he waits 7 minutes, and he's like, further notice. Here is I am back to posting. But anyway,
that's what I would have thought.
I mean, I follow all the stuff. He posts lots of pictures and videos and car audio content all the time, and I probably like everything he posts, so he just stays in my feed all the time because
Who are you guys talking about?
I'm talking about Garrick. He's one of our guys that watches the show every week.
Okay.
So anyway,
Garrick.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So thought I'd mention that. Oh, we got Kyle in here watching. We gotta have Kyle on the show.
So, yeah, we tried the one time, and then
that's
I remember it was that one when it was storming really bad, and I had to get over to his mother-in-law's house, so it didn't work out. But definitely again, ASAP. Since he's part of our team now, Drew. Sup?
Man, you just always trying to find a way to exclude me. Every week, it's like we're gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to make a compilation of all the things that Steve excluded Bobby.
Hey, go build yourself a kicker rig, dog, and then maybe be part of the club.
He'll be a kicker next week.
Yeah, I'll be there next week.
There you go.
Walk around.
Just like there you go. You're in, dude. If it was my choice, I would have had you in.
You'll let me in
the next time. I'll let you in. Hot dog first.
Ooh. So
hands are too
I
big
figured
to join.
We talked a little bit about this. I guess probably the best primary subject for this week is talking about not getting ripped off, right? And I think all three of us, we've actually talked.
He coughed at like the worst time. It sounded like you said not getting jerked off.
Wow.
Yeah, dude,
no, we should all be getting jerked off.
I'm just telling you what it sounded like. I was like, oh.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I mean,
true. Yeah. But ripped off and jerked off.
Yeah. Both getting ripped off, bad. Getting jerked off, good, right?
Yeah. Unless it just depends how you're using jerked off. But yeah.
I mean, not like literally like,
No.
I jerked off.
It can also like being screwed over. You could say whatever. Okay, back to the subject.
That's all right.
Let's get back to the subject. Screwed over.
Quit
jerking me around. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you're good, Garrick. So, funny story. Real quick, I'll try to make it a little bit abbreviated. And I'm not 100% sure if this is for real, but I'm pretty confident that the person that did the chargeback, if isn't the same person, they are associated with the people that stole the sub out of my shop. Because my buddy Nick came into the shop day before yesterday, and he was explaining, he's like, hey, I got a customer. He's got one of your subs and one of your boxes. And he said he got it from you guys. And I'm a little bit worried about how close the back of the motor is to the port back. And I was like, let me take a look. And he showed me a picture, and it is like just over 1/4 of an inch, which is barely enough. Like, I'd prefer it to be an inch, but 5/16.
It is what it is.
You'd be all right? And I was like, yeah, shit, and I'm like, which box is that? Is that the 1.5? Because I probably wouldn't put an Alpha or a Relentless in a 1.5. I wouldn't recommend it. If it was like, that's what fits, I'd be like, you can do it. It'll work well. But it's a nice big jump better from the 1.5 to the 1.75. So I'm like, I probably wouldn't have recommended it. Which box is it? And he's like, I don't know. He got it from you. And I'm like, oh, well, what's his order number? I can look it up. And he's like, let me call him. He just tried to call me a minute ago, but I was driving. He calls me up. Hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm over here at Gately. We were trying to figure out which box you have. Do you remember which one it is? And he's like, nah, I don't remember. It was what he told me to get. And he's like, okay. And he's like, who did you get it from? And he said, I got it from Bob. And I'm like, nobody calls me Bob. That's weird.
Wow.
Like Cassio Wernick calls me Bob. He goes, Bob. What is this, Bob? He's got a super strong Brazilian accent, so he would probably sound really funny if he said Bobby. But anyway, so I'm like, Bob. And then he's like, yeah. So he's like, well, what's your order number? He's like, I don't have that. And he's like, okay, can you look that up? What's your name? They can look it up by your name. And he's like, hey, are you there? He's like, yeah. He's like, are you on speakerphone? He's like, yeah. Take me off speakerphone. There's some bullshit. And I'm like, oh. And so I immediately thought of the chargeback. Allison had already thought of that. She was trying to look it up, but she couldn't find it on her computer. I hadn't even gone there yet. And
how long ago was that, Bobby? That you ordered it?
3 weeks ago. The order was 6 weeks ago. The chargeback started 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So about 2.5 weeks after.
Okay.
They had picked the box up locally. And the guy sent his brother down to come get it.
From your shop?
Yeah. And so anyway, Spark Dead said being jerked on. Better than being jerked on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It depends.
It's
Also
a hustle,
depends.
man. Yeah. So anyway, I'm talking to Nick. Nick is like, dude, the box is at my shop. It's around the corner. And I know it has an order number on it. It's written inside the box. I'll go look. And so he jams over to his shop. He immediately comes back. He's got the box in his hand. It's got the order number on the inside of it. It is the chargeback box. He's giving it back. He's like, I'm going to tell this dude I ain't working on his car. I'm going to give him his money back. I'm going to have him get his car. I haven't really done shit yet. So I'm messing with this dude. And here's the box. And I was like, that sub, I haven't sold anybody just here's a sub at all, And I was like, the likelihood that that's the stolen. He's like, well, and I'm like, I can't prove that. So you just give him back the sub because there's no proof that is the stolen sub. The way there is that box. But, and that's the only chargeback that I've experienced. Now, we had a whole discussion about it. It flagged, it was like the billing was Florida and the shipping was Sacramento. So, we've had a few of those in the past, and I call people and they're like, oh, no, it's all legit. It's, this is me. And I ordered this and I used to live here. Or the one was like, yeah, my mom ordered it for me. I'm here in college, and they sounded legit. And I just took it as that. And I didn't get any chargeback. Everything was fine. But this one, I even called the guy. Oh yeah, no, it's a gift. It's this. Sounded totally legit. I said, hey, look, somewhere along the way, if somebody fucks it up for everybody else, then it's going to be more difficult. And if somebody really wants to buy our product, they'll find a way to make it so that it doesn't have this shady ass red flag high risk.
Yep.
So anytime we have one that's high risk now, I just refund it. Nope, no order for you. Unfortunately, that might cost us a little bit with Shopify, but fuck it. I'd rather not than lose my ass on a whole ass box or an amp or anything else, right?
Mhm.
So as far as my experience right there as an online retailer and a builder, to keep you from getting ripped off, like some of these guys are box builders and stuff, you have to take a deposit that is, I get paid for the full box in full up front, and then they pay for shipping at the end. That's the only thing. Some people are real scared that, can I give you half? And I go, no, because if you pay me half and I build your box, and now I have a big ass box, and if you don't have the $600, $800, $1,200 to pay for the rest of the box, and I'm fucked. And I got this big stupid thing that I don't want in my face anymore, and I don't have room for extra boxes sitting around my shop.
Robert, what part of New Orleans are you in? I asked last time. You didn't answer me.
Yeah, where are you at, Robert?
You in
Robert ordered
You in Kenner,
a
bro?
custom box the other day.
You in Kenner, bro?
Roll up.
Yeah, he's probably not in Kenner. That'd be funny.
One of our double 8 boxes, and a double 8 shorty, and a custom Gately emblem that'll be 18 inches wide with a epoxy resin pour in it. That'll be real pretty on the box. So
sounds nice.
But
Yeah. That's dope.
yeah, serial numbers on the subs would be kind of cool. It'd be kind of a lot. Maybe someday that's a possibility. I'm reading the comments. I don't know if you're.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too.
So
that'd be a lot. That'd be a lot.
West Bank.
So as a builder, I charge upfront for everything that, and then when it comes to doing installs, I don't really take deposits. I sell them the audio equipment. And I go, all right. And then most of the time I have them get it too. I'm like, here is your gear. Now you're on the list. And in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whenever we get to you, when we're ready to do your install, we have a spot laid out for you. If you say, oh, I can't do it right now, I'm like, okay, let me know when. But I don't have some pile of somebody's money that I don't want to give back. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I got you. You have your speakers and amps and shit.
You pay me for the labor and stuff later.
The labor's all when we do the install. Yep. And if we're doing a large scale one, I build them every week. I give them an update. I send them pictures. I tell them where we're at. And I give them an invoice. All right, we had 17 hours this week. The guys are really getting after it on your project. And we used, X materials. We ran your 4-aught wire, and we used these SMD blocks, and you know what I mean? So that's how we manage that stuff to keep from having who is this? Who are you talking about? Also, and Troy got a paragraph on here, and we're all like,
It sounds like, I know who that sounds like, but I'm not gonna say any names in case it's not. But I know what that sounds like.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not in control of what other builders are doing at all. And so
yeah, I take full amount up front, obviously, because it's a small amount relatively, and then it's one of those things where as soon as I put time into it, if you don't pay, I'm out. Because what am I going to do? Resell it? Come on. But I haven't dealt with chargeback. I mean, I know
that doesn't sound like a bad.
Not chargeback.
He didn't really get screwed there.
What's the stuff on PayPal?
Chargeback.
Yeah,
reversal.
A couple of them, but nothing bad, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And then I've had a couple through Shopify that were high risk, and they're like single T-shirt orders. I'm like, I'd send it. It's a T-shirt in the end.
Yeah, 100% depends on what's in the order for us with shitting on them and the level of fraud. Shopify gives you those 3 levels.
Mm-hmm.
We've been taken a couple times, but every time it's happened, we've won our dispute. It just is a pain in the ass because they take the money right away, and they hit you with a fee right away. So they presume you guilty first, then you got to provide all the shit, and then hopefully win it. But we've been fortunate enough with shitting on them to win basically all of them. But before shitting on them, I mean, I've been buying and selling stuff online forever. And I mean, back in the day, PayPal used to be the buyer got their money every time. The seller always got screwed. It didn't matter if they shipped you a box of rocks back and you showed them, here's my return of a box of rocks. PayPal be like, yeah, whatever, dude. You're screwed $150. They got 100. You're just good. Just beat off. And then a lot of people started leaving PayPal, and I think they really straightened up after that. Now they're
I've had like one or two over the last 8,000 designs I've done that filed a chargeback after I did the work and they got it and they didn't complain, and I was able to win those just because I have everything's recorded. Me emailing it, all that. I'm like, here's the proof I sent everything to them. And PayPal's like, oh, well, shit, okay.
The only time I ever had somebody try to do a chargeback, I was telling Steve about it the other day on PayPal. It was years ago, and we had done custom window tint in this dude's car, and I mean, we only charged him like $450 or something like that. It was like $700 total to tint the car, and I don't mean like I turned $700 to tint his windows. We made a custom Mustang logo in blue and chrome and fucking red layered tint. It was a lot of work, and we had a picture of his car with him in it in our bay with the tint, and all of us like working on it and cleaning windows and smiling. And I was like, there is his car, that like in the timestamp on the thing, that was the day services provided. And they were like, oh, you win. That was the only time I ever dealt with it. I thankfully have been very lucky and had very little fraudulent stuff, thankfully. But I also have always tried really hard to prevent that shit as best I can, so.
Of course. And then kind of like Casey said, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but you kind of can sometimes. But to be fair, yeah.
Picking zits and shit. You're like, I don't know if the money's good around here.
The wealthiest person I personally know. I mean, the first time I met him, he was in just like cargo shorts, like a car shirt, like a Mustang shirt, and just looked normal. Just looked like a dude.
Did he look like he was on meth?
No.
Okay, well then
that's
the book. That's the book cover that I'm like, I'm good.
Yep.
You can fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I need a stereo for my 2017 Cummins that's twin turbo. It makes 1,000 horsepower. I'm like, sir, it's the year 2016. How'd you get that? That's when I knew. Anyway, yeah. So it turned to a $15,000 sound quality job. All Rockford. That's good.
Nice.
And he's like, hey, you want to go to Africa? I was like, sure.
Fucking Africa. All right.
So, dude, you can do signatures on stuff. I'll tell you right now. I had a package delivered by FedEx this week. Signature required. They delivered it to the neighbor's house.
They signed for it?
No one's home. They just dropped that shit off at the neighbor's house. Only reason I knew that because it said delivered. I didn't see it. Was FedEx locally now sends you a picture of where it is.
No.
So I'm like,
they took a picture of your neighbor's doorstep. It's
Yeah.
right here, dude.
Yeah, basically.
Shit.
Or it'd be like this used to be.
I'll be right back.
I got my paycheck stolen when I was working with Audio Dynamics. Aaron accidentally had my home address, my old home address, after I had moved, and the people that had moved into my old house, which was just a mile or so from here, were slimy scumbags that were ripping off my old landlord. Because I had talked to him about it a bit. So they had moved in and they never gave him a nickel, and it took him 11 months to evict them. And then and it was right before COVID that he finally got them out. And I called him up about 6 months after COVID. I was like, hey, man, I'm glad you got those people out before COVID kicked in. They would have been stuck there forever. He was like, oh, man, wherever they're at now, somebody is stuck with those slimy people. He's like, I never got $1 from those people. I let them move in my house and got nothing. But my paycheck went there, and they signed for it and put it in their own bank account.
Wow.
And the police came to me and everything, and they did nothing about it at all. This was like a $800 paycheck. So, yeah. But, now, as far as people purchasing from builders, really the best thing you can do is search to find if anybody has said they've been ripped off.
Basically,
there are some guys that are high-end builders that are known to have been ripping people off. So when you guys get ripped off, you guys got to throw those guys under the bus. And people are like, oh, this looks bad. You brought it on the internet. Fuck that shit.
All the way on the internet.
Blast those fucking slimy thieves all the way. I will never bet. Now, if you put up some bullshit and you're like, hey, man, and he said the stain was going to be black and it was like kind of black, so he ripped me off, then you're an asshole.
Yeah.
But
then, yeah.
If you go, I gave this dude my money and then he said he'd have something to me in a month, and now it's been 3.5, and here's the series of bullshit conversation, and here's the series of him not responding to me for 6 weeks. Blast those dudes on there. Oh, I'm way ahead of you, baby. You don't have to go. You can give me a smooch or something. I don't even get a smooch.
Hi.
So anyway, so the box doesn't fit my Tahoe. Oh yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
That was some over and beyond shit you did for that guy, Drew. That guy was pretty slimy.
Yeah. You know, I'd rather just. I mean, it ended up working out for the most part. Jonathan Patrick ended up selling the box, and he was going to send me the money, you know, but he's always taking care of my alternators, So I was like, look, man, just keep the money. Just send me the bill of alternators for the nitro that I need.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he did me a favor by dealing with it, and him and Ross. So it
worked out good.
It worked out better than I thought it was going to work out.
Yeah. Byron, it's worse. There are a lot of guys that actually aren't getting shit. But I had a customer not long ago that said, I ordered a box from this guy. He told me 4 weeks because he had them he was building them and that I could get one of them. And I was like, cool, I'm going to order it right now. And he's like, it's been 6 months. He keeps telling me next week. He keeps telling me, at one point he started asking, hey, can you pay me a couple of $100 more because I'm not doing that sale anymore? It was like, I paid for it when you had the sale. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah, and the dude's like, I finally gave up and I'm just going to order one of your boxes. And he's like, how long will it be? And I was like, I'm looking right at the box. It's in front of me. I'm going to stick a label on it right after you place the order. He's like, fuck.
Yeah,
really?
like as soon as you pay up, my guy.
He's like, I wanted something different. Months. And I can build you something different. It's going to take me like 3 weeks, but like for real, it'll only be like 3 or 5 weeks. Like that's that until you have it in your hands. Like he was like, oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, it's sad. It's sad. There's a few guys that, I mean, and these guys are high-end dudes that are out there actually fucking people over. And I can't believe it when I mean, like, I've literally talked to the guy, and I'm like, how come you aren't posting? You found him on Facebook. He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude.
Drew, it's your fault, dude.
It is.
100%.
Yep. I don't know. I've never, I mean, I understand being busy. I get that.
It was a giant flop.
I don't understand, blame the, I wouldn't even read. I was looking at something else on the screen. I had a so-called builder. Good Lord.
Who, Chris? Say the motherfucker's name. That's what I'm talking about. Everyone's like, I don't want to say names. Bitch, say the names.
Let me
Somebody
look up
fucks me.
Hold on,
I'm going to
let's
be
see.
like, here is this guy's name that fucked me over.
Let me
Like,
look
I
up.
almost got in trouble when I posted the picture of the tweaker bitch and the guy because they could see his
Wait,
license
no,
plate.
no, no, hold up. Was this a normal ported box? This is what is this? 215s? Yeah. Nah, bro. Ported boxes. I mean, let me look at this. Nah. If it didn't sound good, that's just because he fucked something up. That's just ported boxes are kind of hard to mess up, to be honest. Like to mess up a ported box, you have to like try, I think. You know what I mean?
Well, I had that dude out there in New York that took my Chris Jenner. Say that guy's fucking name. We're gonna ban you.
It did.
No, I won't ban you. But that's lame. You should say the motherfucker.
Bowen. I don't know who that is.
What's that? Who?
Here's the box. This is for
Cameron?
2020. So, but still, I mean, it's just a 215 box. 7.5 cubes. I mean, that's kind of whatever. Now, I'm not saying I've never designed something that didn't sound good.
I know Cameron, and I've had people like complain that he took a lot longer than he was supposed to. I've never had anybody say, "Hey, man, he kind of fucked me." But a lot of times, Cameron will be working with some really substandard material. And I get it. There's a lot of guys that'll be like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's like, it's not fucking fine. It's not. The 5-layer fucking ply shit at Home Depot is not fine. I don't care if you have 5 layers of it. It's not going to fucking work. It's not okay. I mean, it'll kind of work, but not really. And so, and a flexing box is going to lose several fucking dBs.
And so 2020. So if you notice on that design on that sheet, there were no like special notes about like, hey, builder, make sure you add bracing. You know, because I used to render in all the bracing, and it would, you know, it add a decent amount of time sometimes, and then they would build it and just not do it. I'm like, come on. I'm like, all right, if you're building something big, you should know where to put some bracing. But now I have a note on there saying, look, I did not render bracing, but if you want my suggestion on bracing, just ask and I'll tell you. But I'm not going to spend time and do it.
Casey, I'm going to call you out, man. You visited me with your build, and it was flexing all over the place, and you were not super duper happy.
And plus, if it took 5 months, there was supposed
I
to
saw
be
that
3
shit in
weeks.
person, Casey.
I think homies,
and there was a lot of struggle in that build, and you were like, you know, he's cool and he didn't charge me much, and you were like, but you were like, I wish I would have done better. You know,
yeah, I'm gonna have to side with Chris on this one. It sounds like dude takes some shortcuts and takes a lot of time. Me personally, I value the time more than the money. Like if someone tells me it's going to take them 2 weeks and it takes them 2 months, I would lose my shit.
Yeah, bro, just add me.
I don't appreciate that. It's just disrespectful.
No, it's definitely something that
I try to be like, I give people a hell of a range, and a lot of times I can't even give them like right now. I'm like the soonest possible is June. I'm not.
If the person's communicating, it's completely different.
Right.
But if there's no communication, or it's just like next week, or like you know, like that should, yeah. But yeah, I mean, your work, Bobby, like you give a range, like you said, but you follow through. You don't, you know, and if you know something's going to cause a hiccup, you let the person know like quite a ways in advance.
Or once I realize,
you're not waiting for them to message
hiccup,
you,
whether it's something we're in the middle of or anything else, you know.
Or if it's going to take longer, I'm guessing you probably reach out to them most of the time and say, hey, I'm a little backed up. It's going to take. You don't wait for them to message you day after day and say, where's my box? Where's my box? You know, like a lot of people do.
As far as boxes, we're right on top of the boxes. Once I design it, I have a team of guys that are doing it. Installs are a little more challenging because we also service people's stuff. So there's guys that are like, they have a functioning audio system. We had a customer that when it was super duper raining, he had his back window of his truck replaced to take the slider out. Well, he had gone and done that on his own before he brought the truck in for the install. So he calls me up and he's like, "Hey man, something's going on with my amp." He brings the truck in. We find the back window is leaking severely. His Salt 2000.6 had water in it. We tear this thing down.
Wow.
We get a window crew out there, and we took 2 days on his truck, but it was like, what is he going to do? We had to stop everything and be like, hey, we got to get this customer's truck in here and fix this shit. Luckily,
was the amp messed up?
No, but it had gotten like saturated, right? The whole amp was wet, like it got splashed into it. And I blew it out with air like from a little ways away, and then I left it in my office and I turned the heater up to like 82. And we put that thing on the test bench and it powered up, and then we put it in the customer's truck and it's been working fine ever since. And I'm like, Salt amps are awesome. But so yeah, anyway, when it comes to boxes, my production manager Anthony, my build guys Toby and Zach and Gavin and then Brett is like support for everybody. Man, they get shit done. And if Colt or Tyson need to get over there to help build the box, they'll get it done, So my team makes it easy for me now, and I like pat myself on the back. I train these guys really fucking well, and it's like my favorite shit. Like the best thing I've ever fucking done is train my technicians to be amazing.
We had washed amps off in the sink after the flood of 2016.
Yeah.
Absolutely, things got washed in the sink, and like the DSP and the Nitro is a Helix DSP Pro. It was like $1,000 DSP when it was new. I got a super good deal on it. So the only reason I got it back then, but it flooded. It was in its new box in the Cobra when it flooded. I was in Afghanistan. So my brother went the day after the water came down, got a whole bunch of stuff. That specifically, he took the board out the DSP, dried it with alcohol, and then put it in the oven at low temp for like 2 hours. It's still working to this day.
That's crazy. So if it has salt water on it, it won't work. Like if it dries out,
way more corrosive than normal, like fresh water. Which is what we had a freshwater flood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was just very dirty water.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So yeah, but install stuff is always the most challenging. We got these gigantic vehicles like the Raiden and like that Prospector. That thing has been planned since over a year before. It was 8 months before it got to us, and we had it for like 4.5 months. That customer, the guy that owns it, he's never seen it in person, and it shipped away today. His wife took it to Oakland. It's going to Hawaii. It's going to go to Kauai. He's so stoked. His wife flew out to deliver it to us. So she only had it in her possession for like 13 hours or something before she dropped it off with us. It had 420 miles on it. I put 260 miles on it. And in the time that I had it, and I had to just kind of keep him posted. I billed him every week as we went and sent pictures, and we talked about it, but we had to work around that monster in the shop, as well. And then the same with the Raiden. We took the Raiden over and stored it at Eric's house, not far from the house. I mean, our shop fits 2 vehicles in the install bay. We got Byron's truck, the Soulgasm, is over at Colt's place. It's like, it's tough, man, working around these things. But we have to keep our customers hyper informed of what's going on and when. I have a customer family, and they're pretty wealthy, and they're great, and they're on time when they're supposed to drop off their vehicles. But I was trying to schedule one of the vehicles in, and I hadn't heard back from the customer yet. And so after like 4 days, I was like, I don't want to not have a vehicle here for us to work on. So I brought the Raiden in a few days earlier than planned. And I'm like, let's going to get started on this thing right now. We're going to work on this. And then she called and I said, hey, I was hoping you were dropping this thing off today and I haven't heard from you in 4 days. So I brought this other one in. That pushed you back like 2.5 weeks. And she's like, oh shit. Okay. I understand. I need to make sure I call you back right away. And I'm like, 3 or 5 days advance timing is fair, like we've communicated pretty regularly. So, and she's like, that's cool. I understand. And I'm like, but once that's complete, once we get the first vehicle, we got 3 vehicles in a row to do for her. And it's going to be like, as soon as this one's done, you're going to drop off one and pick up the other. And on, and at the same time, we'll have, the Raiden for a little bit. We're almost done with the Slam Halen. So I'll bring her vehicles in once we are complete with the Slam Halen, which should be early next week, early to mid next week.
I can't wait to see that one.
It's looking really good. The guys are doing a super good job. I kind of reached a point where I was like, I'm going to go ahead and just stay out of it and let you guys do what you want to do. And they're like, we want to put some Vex 8s and some horns in them. Just do it. Just do whatever you guys want to do. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it.
Not done yet?
You're going to make it louder and sound better? Good idea. Oh, you'd be super proud. The guys did their first complete tune on the Prospector with the Max.
Hell yeah, brother.
And they were feeling pretty confident. Like Colt walked over and was like, you want to come hear this? I'm like, oh, this dude looks like he's hella confident. It sounded really good. I made a couple of changes and then I had them post my adjustments to dial it back in. And then it was outstanding. It went from sounding like very good to fucking beautiful. So they're already using the Max to do better than what we were previously doing. So
and that's the entire point.
I mean, away, right? Like once you start to figure that tool out, you're already better than what you were using previously. That says buy a fucking Max if you have a shop.
Did you use it to tune a JL DSP or
no? But we got a JL DSP for the Slam Halen because it only needs 8 channels.
Oh, you got the tweak?
You got the tweak.
Hell yeah.
So that I think we'll be reaching out to you guys to assist us a little more on how to make that as awesome as it can be.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love some of the some of the auto tune features, especially if you figure out the target you want it to sound like, how you want it to sound. You're gonna like it. Your guys are gonna really like the real time, on the same app as you make an adjustment, you can watch it happen,
and then you're gonna hear it happen.
You're gonna get spoiled. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Ooh. Excuse me.
So if you are a customer and you're buying a service to your vehicles, right? This is how I tell people to deal with this shit all the time with regards to getting their cars painted or getting their upholstery done, things of that nature. When they're like, okay, cool, I'll have you drop off the vehicle and we'll get started and da-da-da. And they're like, can I have you make a deposit? What I want you people to tell them is, how much is the minimum that I can give you to have you get started? Also, is it reasonable for us to schedule a weekly update and I pay you as you go? That way, they're not sneaking up on you with, oh yeah, there's 700 hours on this damn thing or some wild shit, right? You're able to
see it all the time.
Yeah. So when I had my truck, when I had them do the wide body on my F-150, I chose a shop that had a good reputation, that had a really good, primary builder owner. And he was less than a mile from my shop. And that was on purpose. I wanted to use a shop that I could get to right away. And I was like, are you okay with me visiting you almost every day? Not because I'm watching over your shoulder, but because I can learn, I can help, I can make decisions on the damn near daily. Like, you're like, what do you think of this? Should I do this for you? Or do you want to get this upgrade? Or do you know what I mean? You can add. And he was like, oh no, that'd be great. Yeah. If I need anything right away, I can show you. I need to get more of this. I need to get more of this. I'm going to buy this body filler. I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, I'm like, as long as it doesn't bother you that I'm telling you I'm going to visit you almost every single day, then we can be cool. Because they're like, I don't know. And I'm going to be like, then I know that I'm not fucking bringing you my shit, because it's going to be a really good paying job and it's not going to be easy. And so we worked out the deal. I dropped off the truck and I kept a BMX bike at the shop, and I would ride my SE bike over to his shop almost every day. And he'd be like, hey, what's up? Check it out. He'd be over there sanding shit, working on my truck. There'd be days that I'd show up and he'd be like, hey, I got this like 1.5 day, fix this fender and get it out of here, and I'm going to make $2,800. So I'm going to hammer this shit out. I'd be like, fuck yeah, make that money. I'm going to fucking sand that shit for you over here. I'm like,
you better
shit
take
while
that
he's
job.
bolting stuff in. And you know what I mean? I help him out for a half an hour on those days. I'm like, hey, I got you. Let's do this. What do you need? Make that damn money, buddy. You know? And so anyway, it worked out really good. He did a super good job in my truck. I'm very happy with it. And I paid a fucking premium, but I didn't feel like I wasn't getting the premium service either. So I'm super happy with that. Now, I've seen paint guys and upholstery guys, shops, one-man shops, large scale shops, just completely rob people in like this weird legal way where they're like, I took a bunch of money and I did nothing at all to that person's car. Or they did worse, they ruin it. I mean, shit, man. Even Byron paid a guy to rebuild a decently running engine, and instead the guy took it apart and ruined it. And kind of ruined the whole vehicle. So we ended up buying the vehicle shipped to us directly from this guy, and we ended up being like, we were going to do an LS swap and all this other shit. And it was going to, you spend $10,000-$15,000 on a really badass LS swap and all the wiring and everything for it. So it was like, why don't we just buy a different vehicle? And so we bought the Escalade, and I'm so glad we did. It's going to be a fucking monster versus this little Tahoe. Right. So, anyway, it's pretty fucking wild how people.
Yeah, they do it legally and they just never get in trouble for it.
Yeah, there's no protection against like shoddy work. As long as you do a certain amount of time of work and you can prove it, then it is what it is. I think it's like, depending on how much work, but it's like a certain amount of hours of service. But yeah, that's pretty fun.
So
Bobby,
Baba,
I wanted to ask you too, because I don't really know much about this project either.
So, the Slam Halen. Slam Halen is it's a little B4000 Mazda that our customer, his name's Glenn, and Glenn is the father of one of my technicians, Brett. So that's how we found Brett. Is Glenn came in and he had a 88 square body Blazer, and we did a custom colored 218 box for two DC level 618s and some custom door pods and stuff like that. And this was 2 years ago or whatever. And he was like, hey, my son loves this car audio stuff, and I think he'd be great at it. And he's a smart kid, and he's working at this job that is just not progressing. And if you can work around his school schedule stuff, he's a good kid. I was like, hey, give him my number, have him give me a call. And he gave me a call and he sent me his like resume. And I said, well, let's try it out. Let's see how it goes. And Brett came in, and he's real quiet. And then it took him a while to kind of really build momentum, because he was being really careful and studying everything he did with the utmost detail. So it was for a couple of weeks. It was like, I don't know if this kid's going to make it. He's really nice. I like him, but damn, he's super slow, which is okay. But like,
Yeah.
And then he started kind of building momentum, and then he started having some really good insight on things. And then it was like, okay, here it is. The magic is really starting to happen. Now he's a very valuable asset to us. And his dad is a good friend of mine. So his dad had an idea to build a little Mazda mini truck. First, he had a B2000 that was pretty badass, but it was kind of a fucking piece of shit. And it was a little too crusty and it didn't run quite well enough. And they wanted to put a pretty heavy audio system into it. And they were worried that the little 4-cylinder and its inability to churn an alternator worth of shit wasn't even going to be able to drive. He wants it to be able to drive. So he stumbled across this B4000 with the 4-liter V6 Ford engine. And other than leaking shitloads of oil, the 4-liter is a fucking badass. Hey, is it just me or is Drew look like he's fucking max headroom every once in a while? You guys catching that shit?
Yeah, he's glitching out of control.
Yeah, you're glitching out, and it is crazy looking. It is like
it's going like
It looks like
my connection is unstable, but my computer's plugged into the internet, so I don't know what more it wants.
Like remember the movie Jacob's Ladder? Remember that shit? Crazy. If you guys don't know that movie, you gotta watch this fucking movie. It is some wild shit. Oh, look at he totally shit the bed and everything. He was gone.
I don't know what is going on with this thing.
But so anyway, so Glenn picked up this B4000, had it painted fucking red, and then went home with some white and black striping tape and did his own graphics to make this thing look like Eddie Van Halen's red and black and white guitar. And it's fucking awesome. So I designed a fourth order for 6 of our Relentless 12s. We're going to run with a Salt 12K wired at 1.3 ohms. It's got 4 Cyber 12K batteries. Okay. It's got 2 of the Salt 200.4s, the little 4 channels.
Nice.
Using 2 Vex 10s in the front doors with 2 in each front door of the B2 CDR horns that I'm a huge fan of. It's probably my favorite thing the B2 audio makes is those CDR horns. They're fucking amazing.
Those are
and then we're going to put
truck, right?
Yep, same as in the Raiden, same as the Bloodbath, same as in the Green Monster. So also in the rear now, the guys decided to add 2 Vex 8s plus 4 more of the CDR horns. So that should be a lot of fun. And then, the guys, I designed the box. The guys built it beautifully. You look at Drew doing that right now. It's so fucking awesome.
I don't know why it's doing that.
Drew is a simulation. I think
that music video from is what it reminds me of. I don't remember exactly what song was from the 80s. And it was like real new technology. There he is again, just tripping out a little bit there.
I'll just stop moving.
It's now you're frozen right now. Oh, and then he switched to a fucking smile and like solid again. That was really cool. You are like Drew. It looks like he's a simulation right now. He's not even fucking real.
Is that a blow through, Bobby?
It is a blow through. Okay. Yeah,
612.
And the guys and I have really developed a fucking like having really round corners on a blow through is super important. Like you guys that build a fucking square blow through, the fucking corners are gonna leak. They're gonna fucking leak. So we make it as rounded as reasonably possible, and then I build the port as a stack fab, and it's tapered, and then we figure out where it's gonna make contact with the rubber, and we fucking slather on the same adhesive that glues windows into vehicles around that port. And then we fucking slide that bitch in until it stops. And I actually make the port longer than what it would be before the box touches the back of the bed. So I want to have a little 1/2-inch space there. I want that port to wedge all the way into that accordion boot tight and seal, because otherwise it'll fart. You know what I'm saying? Under the pressure, it'll go. I know this because I had it happen. I built an enclosure and that shit was farting at the bottom. And so I actually made a piece of wood and I fucking shaped this little like banana shape into it. And I put a bunch of adhesive on and I wedged it in to prevent that. And then I was like, I'm going to fucking do that on purpose from the beginning, only better. So like,
see, I did a blow through in mine, and I have in my truck years ago. It was just a big square blow through. Did the accordion boot, but the part of the port that came into the cab was flush with the back, or just a little bit. I think it stuck out a tiniest bit, and then I did a face that went onto that, and routed out the porthole.
Yes, we do that as well.
So I don't know if there was any farting or not. It might have been behind the wood that I couldn't hear. I never heard it.
Look at Drew.
There he is.
He's all shaking. He's all.
All right, I'm going to turn that off for a minute.
That's fun. I love it.
I'm not going to move much.
I don't think Drew's a real person anymore. They like the it's like it's like one of those alien movies where they take your friend and they replace him and he's glitching out. He'd like,
oh well, it'll be all right.
I'm not mad. I'm not making fun of you, man. I still love you. You're my friend, even though you're replaced by a fucking robot alien. Makes me sad. Yeah, a little bit of the Matrix thing kind of happening there. Deep fake Drew.
So you brought up what did you bring? You brought up Audio Dynamics earlier. Did you see that video that Pete posted?
No.
He posted like a workflow thing of how he designs speaker boxes. Boy, it looks bougie. But I figured out, because I always known he had his own program or like some special made thing that he has. I figured out what it is finally after seeing the video. So it looks like a modified version of Horn Resp.
What does?
The program that Pete uses when he designs boxes.
I see.
Let me see if I can I'll pull it up real quick.
Yeah, you should do a super bougie like video / PowerPoint presentation of how you design boxes, and then you can charge more.
I should. I can't, because like wait till you see this bouginess, dude. I'm telling you. Share screen. Okay. All right, so you can't.
How long is this video? I don't have 19 minutes, man. I don't last that long.
This is a 19-minute video about how he designs boxes.
Yeah. So I said we're not.
Takes me a lot longer than 19 minutes to design a box, but I mean, if he's showing kind of his,
so
abbreviated version, I'm sure it's pretty cool. But
so that looks super bougie.
Yeah,
like you're not sure what you're looking at. And then which one was it that made me realize it was this? This was what made me realize what he's using. So that what you're looking at is the wavefront simulator in Horn Resp. Let me get back to it. That is the wavefront simulator you can do in Horn Resp. So I kept watching, and sure enough, he's using like a modified version. Like he did it or he had someone take Horn Resp and reprogram it to have all these graphical interfaces, because everything's text, nothing's graphical except for a couple things. So it just looks like he has a bunch of graphical interfaces to Horn Resp. Because like as he changes the enclosure size, it'll change the response size, which is exactly how Horn Resp does. It's just text in a single graph.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you get see like as he's changing port length, the response is changing. It's exactly how Horn Resp looks. It's exactly what it does.
Yeah.
It's just a graphical representation of the text in Horn Resp. I'm just guessing. That's just what it looks like.
I mean, the software's impressive. I'd love to use that. Now, I probably built more boxes designed by Pete than anybody. Because I worked directly with Audio Dynamics for about 2.5 years, and I built a few before I was working directly with Audio Dynamics, and I built a little bit after. And I built a shitload when I was working with Audio Dynamics. There were a few boxes that he designed that absolutely blew my fucking mind, and I was like, oh my God, this is fucking astounding. It was brilliant. And there were a few that I was like, hey man, that didn't work. very well at all. And there was a couple times where Pete responded like, "Oh, what was wrong with it?" And I like broke down in detail and I tried to give him all the information I could, and he responded with a much better version of it that performed well, because he's a smart dude. There's no bullshit coming from Pete, but Pete will roll the fucking dice with some wild shit that he isn't 100% sure of.
So that was like in that video, he shows you how he can see the exact response at your head and this and that, and how he can design SPL enclosures, this and that. I'm like, man, like I didn't say anything. I was just thinking.
Dude, your hands were going and shit. Oh my God. So you know what? The audio stays solid, Drew. I think it's something with your camera. Check the connector and the little pluggy on your camera. I'm thinking it's your camera.
I'll mess with it here in a minute. So like I said, like I was thinking, if that software is so good, how come we're not all just using that for every SPL enclosure, every proper sound quality enclosure? Like I'm sure, like, obviously he's good. Dude knows what he's doing. All right, we're just not gonna look at me for a minute.
So, what my, it always comes back to what I've been saying for a really long time, is that nothing compares to fucking real world testing. So if you do tons of real world building and testing, you may not need to even bother with software at all when you're designing a box, especially if it's subwoofers, that literally have your fucking name on them, and you've built like 2,500 boxes for them, and you design them, and you design them in a way so they work really good in boxes that you already built. And so there's nobody that's going to take a fucking Gately Audio Relentless 8 and build a box that's going to fucking compare to what I'm going to fucking provide for you. Yeah, I build a shitload of them. And the only time I ever use software to design anything for them is I'm trying to do something really fucking weird. I know what to do with a fourth order with those subs. I had Drew help me with it a long fucking time ago. And then I built it one way. And then
now he's built 1,000 of them.
A little more fucking chamber area because I knew I could, and I found efficiency, but I didn't find any gain with higher power. And then I squeezed it in a little smaller, and I found more output with more power. So I was like, oh, that's fun. So
and like you're not going to find that just by designing it on a computer once.
No.
Or without actually building and testing. It's like,
even the BNC guys, we literally had a team of fucking engineers from the largest speaker manufacturing company ever. And they said that the cabinet making manufacturers don't even fucking bother most of the time. They just start building shit and testing it.
Yep.
Here's the thing. They probably already have boxes of some form or another available.
Yep. Like
the first thing I do when I get my subs, is I'm like, I'm going to get one of these over here for John Nolte to pull parameters, these other ones, and I'm going to stick one in all the different size boxes that we have, and I'm going to have people collect fucking data, and I'm going to find out what they do. So my recommended box sizes are based on not me dick fucking around in some software, but
building some stuff.
Me putting them. I already built that stuff. Lucky me, I already have a 1.5 and a 1.75 and a 2.0 and a 2.25 single 12 box. I'm going to stick them in all of those. So
I got two things to bring up. One, I saw a post earlier today. I was tagged in it a couple times. I'm not sure who the dude is, but he has a pair of those big team Sundown Team 18s, the big team Neos. I think it might be Price's old ones. And he was looking for TS specs to design a box. And like my first thought was, man, no, like just no. You're not going to take those 140-pound 18s with 40,000 watts and design a box based off of 1 watt measurements. It's just not. That's just not how it's going to work, dude. Like, get a starting point and go from there. Test that shit.
100%.
You know, realistically, you're holding $2,500 a piece subwoofers. Go build some stuff.
Or just talk to some people that know kind of
Yeah.
what they want already and build that.
And then,
Oh, see, I don't do that shit either. When people are like, all right, man, hey, man, I want my box tuned to 24 hertz, and I fucking blah. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
now you're saying like people
I'm
who
saying have experience with those subs, what
Yeah.
size box they like and shit.
Oh, right,
You don't
right.
have-
Yeah. Oh,
that's what
way
I'm saying.
better to communicate with somebody that
Yeah. That knows-
that
has
not
knows
even
something
the
about
air
the
is
sub.
linear.
Hey, yeah, I have the. And every once in a while, you'll find a sub that is fucking weird, and you're like, I don't know why, but if you put that thing in this big ass box, it's fucking amazing.
I've always wondered
It
how
doesn't make any sense. The software doesn't say anything about it. Nothing else. Like, I have no idea why. Put it in a monster ass box, you're gonna blow your mind. And then there's the other end of the spectrum. Put that shit in the tiniest. I have no idea how the fuck you can even fit the motor in there, and it's still got a weird port that's a mile fucking long and a ton of port area, so that it tunes appropriately and they fucking work. A DC
Well, take-
level 2 12. This is a cheap ass sub. If you're trying to squeeze a 12 into a space and feed it 600-700 watts, that's the one. Nothing fucking comes close. You squeeze that thing into like just over a foot ported. As long as you got, 24 inches of port area, it's going to be 40 something fucking inches long to tune you into the low 40s, high 30s. This shit is going to work. It's going to work really good. And you put that motherfucker in 2 cubic feet, and it's like, I'm in too big of a box. I don't want to work very good. I sound like shit. I'm muddy. It's not amazing. 1.5, just right. Don't put it bigger than that. But man, I'm telling you, now, some people are like, that sounds amazing. Some people are like, that sounds terrible. It depends on the application. I get guys that are like, yeah, I want to have 2 sundown ZV6s in the trunk of my Accord. And I'm like, don't do that. Let's do 1. ZV6s are pretty good in 3.5 cubic feet, but they're fucking way better in 5.5. So, but you take a couple of U series 12s, now you're fucking talking. That's a great woofer. It's fucking designed for that shit. The X's tend to be a little more forgiving than the Nightshades or the Z series, because they'll work pretty fucking well in 3.5, but still better in 5.5.
Yeah, the more the better in the end.
But X's are pretty goddamn good in 3.5. Like,
oh yeah,
like if you had them already, yep, run them.
I designed a wall for it.
ZV6s, you're a little bit like and that's just all experience. That there's not software anywhere ever that would tell you any of that shit at all.
Well, I mean, and the programs just kind of lose. They just don't deal with modern subs very well. Like, if you put in the parameters from my wall and the Tahoe into a program, it says I have a 17 or 18 dB spike at 48 hertz.
You're like, God, I wish it did.
It says my F3 is like, it says my F3 is 45 or 44. Like, it isn't like, it is immediate. Just
it's a down spike.
That's just not, but that's just not how it is.
Not a good spike. You're all, damn, I wish it did. I was like, the Win ISDE told me that the B2 6.5 was impossible. Like that, I'm like, dude, these are the parameters. I pulled them off the fucking sub myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, like, come on, man. Like, I'm like, okay, I guess. Never mind. I'm gonna freestyle it. And
I guess the sub doesn't exist.
Yeah, it just can't. I'm like, it's literally in my fucking hand. You're telling me this can't be a thing.
But that's what I'm talking about when I say like the programs just don't deal with it, because it's just most of the stuff was designed and like the formulas are for like pro audio use and stuff like that. They're not really, they weren't those formulas and everything wasn't put together whenever subs had 4 inches of movement and more motor force than a car had back then. You know what I mean? Like, there's more.
What is the
horsepower.
newest? What's the newest sub or box building program?
I think they're all. I mean, the most up to date, I guess, would be Turn Pro, but it's still going to be using the same because
it's all the same formulas from
the
fucking
shit,
goddamn
right?
40s, 50s that.
Yeah. So I mean, how
engineers
does that
developed a
stuff
long
even
time
really
ago
work?
when they were looking at subwoofers that had fucking 3/4 inch diameter coils. I mean, not subwoofers, speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. So, I mean, it's kind of.
I mean, that shit just doesn't really work at all. It sounds like.
It does, like especially for like corded applications, sealed applications, stuff like that. It's definitely a really good guide to show you where you're starting and where you're
if you have nothing else in front of you, it's a real good start. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess but it could be way better. We just don't know.
I'm not smart enough to make box design software. I don't need if I could make formulas, but I'm not smart enough to do that because I could find somebody to write software for me. You know what I mean? But nobody's figured out why these fucking woofers work.
If BNC doesn't do it, it ain't gonna be a thing. Or if Harman doesn't do it, it ain't gonna be a thing, bud.
Yeah. If Harman gets the speakers from BNC and goes, all right, we got a dozen of these. Let's put 2 of them in that box and 2 of them in that. And they're like pulling drivers out of some other shit. And like, try it in that. Collect data. And then DSP them all. And then collect data. And then we'll figure out what works best. And sometimes they go, hey, man, the characteristics of this box in this area were great, and that box were great. Can we find a way to kind of and then some guy goes and he figures that shit out.
Yeah,
and then they build that, and then they test that, and then they DSP that, and then they fucking get the data.
It's like all these programs work great
a dozen times over before they go, all right, we're gonna make 20,000 of these $20,000 speaker systems that we're gonna fucking send across the goddamn world.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and all
I need to build fucking goddamn home audio and pro audio speakers
for like, you know, was it XM?
You're not in it, Steve. It's me and Drew.
There's a bunch of really high dollar software like XM, Linear X, stuff like that, and they work great for mids and highs and stuff. Even most subs, like pro audio subs and smaller subs, but you get to big subs like ZV6s, Team subs, Zs. That's just not working, bro. Like, you're not going to get an accurate representation of real life with a 1 watt measurement of a sub that has 4 pounds of moving mass.
Yeah, like how much time have people really put into the new style subwoofers that we have with all this power, just going nuts on crazy box designs, sizes? Like Bobby was saying, like maybe something works really good in half a cube, and we don't know. Maybe it works really good in 10 cubes.
Zachary, you mean like 15 minutes from my house, Zachary High School, and you use DD? Nice. Nice.
Like look at Clippo, fucking, but they have those subs in 0.25, I think.
Nah, really?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so not playing music no more.
Well, it was still demoing at Slam in that 0.25.
There's no way that was that little error. I thought it was 0.9.
I think it was 0.25, and I kept asking like, how does the sub even fit? But yeah, it's just
holy fucking hell.
There you go, 0.25.
So it's like barely fits the surround.
Yeah,
it plays music, but it
played music like a motherfucker. It almost
does it play music like
board and almost burned me on those motors.
Yeah, I don't know how it does it.
Hey, that was
the world's strongest motors
demos ever.
That was with the Compact 3s, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
they were beautiful. They were chromed
like the strongest motor ever put on a speaker.
They were so fucking hot. You'd leave a fucking oil fingerprint from your finger. I touched my fucking finger on that shit. It was like, psst, I was like, oh my God. No, when it was the compacts at Slam, Kyle. I know it was because I almost died.
And it was all the 12Ks or 8Ks or something like that.
Yeah, it was a bunch of 12Ks. Yeah. And it was kind of funny. We walked up and there's like a group of people all sitting on the edge of like the fucking not a door there. and it is fucking blowing hair when you get anywhere near it. It's loud as fuck. And we're like, fuck, that's amazing. And then, the compacts had they had a little more air then, didn't they?
Kyle,
How much air do you think they had per?
And which subs did the 180 plus? Tell us.
The compacts.
Compacts.
Okay.
Yeah. Within an hour of them scoring a 180, I fucking about got murdered by that fucking thing. So we walk up and I'm like, hey, can I do the thing? He's like, oh yeah, hold on a second. And then he like turns it down and I'm sitting there waiting and he's like, I'm letting the batteries come up for a minute. Hold on. And I'm like, oh, it's got more. And he's like, I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought,
wild,
the
dude.
compact. Oh yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, but still, dude, if the ZV6
One
did an 80
dB
and
from 180 to
0.25,
181 is a big fucking jump, man.
Let me go back to this. So,
no door. With
this
no
dude
door.
said he put 18s into high school locally. He works at All Pro. It's a shop in Zachary. They're so bougie. They have Utopia M's on display, and you can touch them. Bougie
Fuck
shit.
that.
Wow.
Y'all get a max yet or
Oh,
what?
shit.
Y'all or what? You get a max yet? Also, JL dealer. You get a max yet or what? Or is Calvin still playing around?
So
I've been
put
meaning to bring
18s
mine up there. I
in
just haven't. They're only like 20 minutes
in
away.
this-
I've been
What
working on
power
a
was
mount,
it? I don't even know.
mount to fasten that mic array onto my penis. I'm gonna 3D
What?
print that shit.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm not sure my printer's big enough.
I'm not sure my printer would be small enough.
You got one of those 2x2 plates, Bobby?
Yeah. 2 millimeters by 2 millimeters.
It might be big enough. I've seen it.
Chris
But
Payton
yeah,
is a
that-
4
that,
foot by 4 foot.
That demo at Slam, and that was why I super wanted to maybe if he would have been able to play that thing on Sunday, I would have wanted to give Kyle the fucking deadliest demo award. But he lit that fucking thing off. And I mean, I'm a little dude, but I'm pretty fucking thick. I probably weighed 185, 190. And I'm sitting in the fucking open lack of doorway of the thing. And it dragged me into the fucking box where I thought I was going to get burned by the woofers. And I'm like, holding on. I'm like, oh shit. I turn. I'm like, oh, it was fucking cool, man. And I probably felt the voltage fade 15 to 20 seconds of that violence. And then after that, it still was super nasty, but like the first 10 seconds of that shit was kind of fucking terrifying. It was
I need some
really cool.
detail because I just seen the boy. 2
Yeah,
months
it's
ago.
still up there, top 3 demos I've ever had.
Oh yeah, it was so fucking awesome. It was.
And
Fucking,
I-
and
that
then
was way
I get
back,
out
too.
and I go over. My buddy Josh was with me, and I was like, "Did that look a lot gnarlier than anybody else?" He was like, "Oh my
Mm.
god, dude! I was scared
That makes
you were
sense.
gonna get burned on the speakers." I was like, "Me too." Byron was there. Byron was like, "God damn!" It was.
I
It
can
was.
send it.
I mean, like, it had just done a 181.3, and then they took the door off. He got the voltage up, and then he gave me everything it had music-wise. So that was super fucking fun.
That sounds
Clip of it.
awful, and I want no part of it.
Yeah, I fucking bet. You're in there. It was
Nope.
fucking
I don't
amazing.
get in builds like that anymore. I'm good.
I didn't get in it. I was sitting in the fucking doorway. I was following my rules. I was like, doesn't have a seat. I'm not getting in. I'm going to sit right here. And it was like, you're getting in, bitch. I was fucking sucking into that motherfucking port.
Still
was
to this day, the demo I remember the most, besides Corey Otis's van, is the first time I heard Delilah, I guess is the name of the van.
Yeah.
Carlos's back at like CES 2019. He was playing, he was
Yeah.
giving demos, playing music. I just remember sitting in the doorway thinking, man, that is the most clean bass I've ever heard my entire life. Because there's just obviously no rattles, no flex. No, I was like, damn, that just sounds good.
Right. That's one thing, dude, about my build now that it's with the all steel is when the bass is playing, if you're in the cabin, it's nothing but bass. You don't hear any other sounds. There's nothing's resonating. It's pretty cool. It's
Tomorrow,
definitely
take a
different
picture. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want before I forget, I want to tell him take a picture of the magazine in Calvin's office of the car that he built, so I could show Bobby and these guys the stuff that Calvin's built. Calvin, he owns All Pro locally. He's old time SQ SPL guy. I mean, talk about you walk in there like the whole roof lined with trophies.
Nice. That's what
The
you're going to
man's
call it.
name
Useless
is
information.
Useless information.
Yo, that's the best name
that.
I've ever read.
It's so awesome.
You fucking win.
Yeah.
All right.
So Kyle, have you
Kyle,
decided
are you
what you're building
available
there?
next week to come on the show?
Yeah. Come on next week, buddy. We can all talk about our kicker builds, except for Bobby.
I'm always left out.
Hey, you're involved
If I
in
do
my
a
build.
kicker build, it'll be named Always Left Out.
All right, so this is Kyle saying he's going to be on everybody. So if he
All right.
ditches again,
Then we know he actually doesn't love us at all.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of useless info.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're going to tune it at 40 hertz, right?
Better.
It would be hella funny if it had
So it
like
doesn't-
if it had like a subsonic filter set to 40 hertz with like a fucking 180 some odd dB per
Slow.
octave. Fucking, so like the songs are like
Nothing below 40.
what the fuck is going on here? You're like,
Yeah, yeah. He
It's
should
like
totally
he's
have a button that does
He's
that.
playing
that just
put on.
switches
He gets to
everything
the second note and just nothing.
yeah, like right when the drop comes, it's all boom. You're all, what is going on here? Plays nothing but 40 to 50 hertz. The subs are just like, and it's just fucking sheer drop off. The steepest, like the amps have the crossover set at 40 and the subsonic, the fucking DSP all at the highest octave
Yeah,
48
it's
dB
impossible.
slow, right at 40.
on the
Yeah, you
on
might
the,
as well just
on the DSP.
no, put it at like
on the fucking amp
60.
Put it at
crossover in
60.
the head unit,
Yeah.
like
EQ's down,
yeah.
negative 24
Yeah,
dB.
EQ
with a
everything
Q of
down. Put the slope
right
at
at
60.
40.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dude,
it won't play anything
I
under 50.
have to tune
40.
something that is real loud like that on fucking purpose to
With the
see
kicker sub.
how fucked up it is. You're like, oh, what is going on? Like,
Why don't you find something magical? It's like a supreme mid bass tune. You'd be like, wow, this is the best mid
no,
bass I've ever heard
so
in my life.
my buddy Jesse
How about
is
like
is like the guy that loves the
Wait,
choke
gotta go
to
40 hertz, hold on.
55 hertz bass, right? So so
Colt, get on it.
Jesse is the guy. Jesse's the guy that I built those not an octo ports for. Did you guys see that shit? Can you bring up a picture of the not an octo port?
What's it on?
It's on my it's on the Gately Audio and the Bobby Gately Instagram.
Well, how far?
Just in the last couple days.
Okay.
So
there you go.
Jesse is the guy that'll like he's got 16 15s in a fourth with like I think he has 4 Teramps 5Ks. He's getting rid of them. He's putting all Ruthless amps in it. So Jesse's it does like a I don't know 62 or something like that, 62 63 at like 55 hertz. So you get in and he's like he's like beep a bopple and you're all, oh boy, it's all DJ Ruskell's 55 fucking hertz. You're, oh, here it comes. It's like, woo, fucking all.
I'm gonna circle back real quick.
Yeah.
I've been hands on with a bunch, and I've had parameters and yes.
Yes, what?
That is why my-
Abba asked if got our hands on Solo X's to design yet, and I said yes.
Yeah, that's why my.
And you need to send me the design so I can start making the boxes for those, Drew. What the fuck?
I told you I got
You
stuff.
didn't tell me shit. You hate me. I know it. You and Steve leaving me out of everything.
I
So-
sent you parameters.
No, you did not.
Yeah, for mine, so that you could do the baffle and shit. Maybe it was just the sub itself.
The speakers.
But
You can give me
thing,
TS
they don't-
parameters.
They don't have like, well, maybe they
So-
do now, but the ones I had were close.
So
Anyway.
go to another one where you can see it a little bit better. That still kind of looks like it's an octo port. It's a fucking perfectly round port.
Where am I? Where's the?
No.
other
Go
one?
back. Go to Bobby Gately.
Okay.
Look at that. When you type in Bobby, it comes up before Bobby Boucher. Do that one. So you see here, I'll move it around a little bit. That shit is a perfect circular port built in octagonal components. Octagonal components. Whatever, fuck you. I had a pretty big glass of whiskey. It's
So when
really
you set
good.
it together,
My
it
new
actually
favorite
made
whiskey
some-
right here.
So is that all filled in? So it's actual a circle?
It's not filled in. I machined the parts 3-dimensionally to create that motherfucker being a perfect circle.
So when you put it together, that's what it looks like.
So yeah, that's the 3D image of it. Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Stack Fab Flare, not an Octoport.
Oh, so did y'all go back and watch last week after y'all got off the live stream?
No.
Dude,
What
I still going for like another hour and a half.
What?
Yeah, at least another hour. Yeah.
By yourself?
No, Jeffrey Hall called in via cell phone, so it was not top quality production. I'll tell you that. It was not top. But yeah, we just hung out, just talked about nothing. Actually, we did go over. His car has a build log. Like, it has his own Facebook page, and we went over a bunch of stuff on it, and it was pretty cool. It'd be like 20 something.
I'm gonna go back and watch that. I'm super interested now. I'll probably do that shit later.
It'd be like 20 something people for a while.
Excellent. Fucking A.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like getting off, so I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep going."
No, I know you were like, I'm gonna keep going. I'm like, I'm hungry as fuck. I'm going to get some food. So yeah.
Oh, so like selling online, like selling designs online. I designed a 6-order wall for this dude, C-pillar. It replaced his ported box, and he's like, "Man, it's not as loud."
Hold on, Drew. As soon as you started talking about this, I grabbed the bottle of whiskey. My mind was like, I should have another one of these.
You'll have that on them big jobs.
Started talking about that because of that. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead and go back.
So I designed the 6-order. He builds it. Says it's not as loud. I get a bunch of like clamp data from him, SPL data. I'm like, man, this thing's acting weird. I was like, man, did you seal it off? He's like, no, I'll do that. And I was like, okay. He says he does it. More testing. Doesn't really gain sealing off. I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, open the back hatch. Nothing. Like, this is weird. Sends me a video today. Not sealed off. I'm like, what's up, dude? I thought you sealed it off. He said, oh, I've been shoving blankets in between them to seal it.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go get a beer on that note.
Yeah.
I said, bro, you got to seal it. Like, you can't use blankets to seal this wall. Yeah. And luckily he's a cool dude. So I don't think he would ever be like, oh, Drew designed me a failure. But man, if he did, I'd be like, sir, go get you some more Hello Kitty blankets. Calm down. Just caulk it, bro. The seal isn't this gap isn't little. This is like an 8-inch gap on either side of the enclosure.
No, he means you just put a bunch of caulking in the blanket, right, Steve?
Oh, like fiberglass.
He's got the right idea. You just put the fucking blanket in and you just put the caulking.
Snuggie seal, bro. I'm just like, come on, dude. No, spray foam.
Just caulk it, bro.
Caulk it, bro. Caulk it. Sounds like something some college guy would be saying in the back while some guy's like fucking a rolled up towel or something. I never went to college.
I'm not sure how much Chris has posted publicly about his build. Damn, son.
We're going to have to bring Chris on when he's a little closer to being done with his build.
He could probably put subs in. If he had subs, he could probably put subs in tomorrow on a single amp and do like a high 60. Just offer it 1 amp.
Like a 1500 watt amp.
Yeah, like not like a baby amp, and it's a stock cabin.
How many steel builds are coming out? This is crazy.
But I'm gonna be honest, that's
the fucking SPL challenge, right there.
What's that?
The fucking quietly loud SPL challenge. Like, all right, what's the highest number you can get powered by a head unit?
And your name cannot be Scott Van Ripper. That's rule number 2. Your name cannot be Scott Van Ripper.
Well, what do you think fucking RP does on head unit power?
You aren't allowed to compete anymore.
I like it.
No defending.
I think I think that should be the way. When they had the like $150 SPL challenge that people were doing, once a couple people won twice, it was like, oh man. It's like, no. Once you win once, you're not allowed to do it again. You're like a judge / rule maker, you know?
That's very, very progressive of you.
So this is 2012. I did this test off a single channel of a head unit. The wall wasn't sealed off. The box was just sitting in the back of the truck. Like, I'll show you a picture of how the box was sitting.
Looks great. What?
Like right here, you can tell like it's.
You see on the box? See the box?
No, it was not sealed.
Right there.
It was not sealed.
Good. I can see every detail.
Totally. Look at the box, dude.
So this Alpine amp, this Alpine radio was at 0.33 on one channel.
I know there's fucking 25 18s in there.
Fucking 25.
Oh, the good old Alpine.
135.9, killing it.
Wow, so loud, bro.
Not even. But I mean, for 2012, I thought it was pretty loud.
I should do
the meter will hurt
money paying challenge with like a single Gately Relentless 6.5 sub. And be like, the fucking winner gets like a check from Gately Audio for $1 million.
Well, you already know who's going to win that. Ronnie.
Gately Audio doesn't have $1 million. Yeah, I don't know.
Damn. This one 9
maybe
years
like
ago.
$44, $44.67.
Or give him like a really big check, like from
the biggest check, and it's like
it just says
$17.59. It's a fucking check this big.
Yeah, that was the 25 hertz challenge that happened in Louisiana Sound Off Group 9 years ago.
Very cool. That's cool, and it was done on a fucking head unit.
No, the 25 hertz challenge was done with full power. It did a 50 something at like 25 hertz.
That's pretty bitching.
Yeah, I mean 9 years ago with a bunch of Rockford stuff and AGM batteries, bro, it was killing it. Yeah, that's so Price posted, was it late last week? You know, who should rebuild my Tahoe?
Head unit modding. I suppose that's
you're not doing it
until somebody does something really wild, like somehow mount an amp to a head unit and be like, "Yeah."
Who's building it? You're not building it, Drew?
I'm not physically. No, I turned that down a couple months ago. I don't have time or space for that currently. I'm not sure if he's real.
Sound check?
No, they cut the baffle out of Price's Tahoe and they're putting new baffle in. I'm not sure if they've said who it is, who's doing it, so I'm not going to say yet. But new baffle's going to go in.
Where is the truck?
I think it's at Roderick's house in Alabama. It's going to get new baffle in it, and then come here. Dial it back in. But people were tagging everybody, and then people throwing shade. Like, oh man.
Yeah, you should just build it yourself. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure JP's got hella time to build his fucking goddamn rig.
Yeah, I mean but like people, what gets me is like that's the easy building is the easy part.
It is.
Physically putting it together is easy. Making it pretty and play for a long time is clearly a challenge for people who have built that truck before.
Well, it has a shell, so it shouldn't be very hard now.
Yeah. So, huh?
You know what I think is pretty easy? building that thing and making it fucking play and run forever.
That's what I'm saying.
You know why? Because I've done it over and over again.
Actually, no. So I have measurements of the shell now, and no, the 918s are going back in, and they're going to fit with plenty of airspace, like a shocking amount. Yeah.
Are you designing it?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, it's going to be all right.
Yeah, but people are like, oh,
you know what? Because if it isn't all right, you'll design it again until it works right.
Well, if
figure it out.
Well, if it ain't all right, you're about to get dragged, dog.
No, if it's not all right, it's just not going to go back out. That's just how I'm beating. Which was part of it. Like, if we did decide to bring it here and put a baffle in it and do all that work, I'll tell them now, it ain't leaving my house until it's done. Sorry.
Well, why wouldn't it work? I mean, it's got a shell in it. All you got to do is put a sealed section on the motherfucker in a port wall.
Well,
it's not very hard.
You have to piece together the baffle. Maybe like the biggest pain because it's like 60 by 60 or something like that. Like it's just big, and that won't fit through the door, obviously. But
right, like how mine was, yeah.
But I don't have time for it. I don't have space for it. Mainly space. A lot. And then,
right, not saying for you to do, but your design should work. Like,
yes, I said just do flat subs.
Hey man,
yeah, just don't do anything stupid.
They built that shit. That previous version of it, that baffle assembly was built out of that bullshit 5-layer fucking garbage.
So his back wall is a decent distance from the doors. Well, there's no back gate, so you're already kind of wrong. It's doors, barn door, but no, it's going to come to the B pillar now. Like it's going to be at the B pillar, like a proper wall should be.
Where was it before?
Technically at the B pillar, but it was that big lean back immediately, so it didn't feel like a wall. You know what I mean?
His the first 3 subs were at damn
they were
near
already angled,
40-degree angle, maybe 30 at best. So they should be pretty much flat if they're even if the other ones are. But I'd probably flat wall that motherfucker.
No, it's getting a fourth order bandpass. People can say, "Oh, that's boring. It's been done." That's great. It plays, and it's going to rip your face off because it's 918s on 910Ks.
Yeah. What? How big is the shell you're working with?
I'll pull it up. Give me a second. Big.
What subs? The ZV7s?
Same subs. No, same subs.
I don't know what he had in there.
Oh, custom built Team Neos.
What is the straight clipping the face turquoise covering eyes? Like he made a, what is that?
What are you talking about?
The comment from straight clipping.
Face turquoise covering eyes. That must be a emoji.
Like an emoji that our software doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Try it again. Show us what you mean.
I
want to know.
Oh, it's right around 70-ish cubes.
70 cubes. And you're doing 918s.
Yeah.
That's because I guess I'm doing 9 square 15s in much less space, which is the same cone area. So.
And it's going to be plus or minus a bit. I'm not going to know an exact number until the shell is basically ready for the baffle because you got to.
I want to know what material they used on the walls of that. If they 5-layer shit is what they used on the fucking on the baffle assembly. Which
probably the same because it's got a cage behind it.
They need to rip that shit all out.
Well, Price posted a photo of it gutted of the baffle put out, that we can probably see what it was.
I mean, the shell's probably okay with the steel cage behind it.
The ply that they used on the shell. The shell needs to come out. The shell needs to come out, and I'm willing to bet that the steel needs to be reinforced more.
Oh, so this is actually, I'm just going to share this entire screen. So this is the photo that was posted, right?
Yeah.
I just noticed this.
That right there.
The wheel well?
What do you not see?
The wheel well fiberglassed over, but I can't.
A cage.
Where?
Exactly. Where's the cage?
What do you mean?
I hope that fiberglass over that wheel well is thick as
fuck. Where's the cage? There's no cage.
Well, behind the side of the
baffle has no steel reinforcement. Yeah.
But there should
baffle
be cage
didn't
here.
have any.
There should be cage here.
Well, isn't it behind the side wall?
Yeah, but it should be here too.
Why? They didn't
Because it's
cage
a
over the
cage.
Or
wheel
there
well.
should be obviously fiberglass so thick that there's no
Well,
doubt.
there was a big 45 over covering it all. See?
Wow. Yeah, we caged over all the wheel wells and shit, so I don't know.
Yeah, look at the wood. That cheap wood.
That is 5-layer
Yeah.
ply. That if you built that exact same thing, using appropriate Baltic birch plywood, he would fucking gain 3 dBs.
Yep. But no, it's gonna be nasty.
Oh, you fucking win. You win the
Fucking
internet
dick.
today.
See?
Yeah.
Chris gets it.
Sir, I love you.
Well, boys, have you guys had any bad experiences as a buyer online? Nope, never been ripped off, huh?
I don't buy used stuff
I
online,
got
so
you.
I
got
eliminate
you.
that off that.
So there's a guy about 10 years ago that was making gauge clusters for Subarus and other shit. I want to say his last name was Cortez. I'm pretty confident that's what it was. He's a fabricator dude, fiberglass guy, and I built a gauge. I ordered a gauge dash piece for my Forester for 2 like 3-inch gauges or 2-inch gauges, whatever the fuck they were. And that shit arrived, and it was the most poorly fabricated fucking thing I've ever seen. It was fucking awful. And the fabrication work, the parts were crooked to one another, right? It was 2 round holes that are supposed to be, and I don't mean they weren't supposed to be pointed at me. They were in line, and they were like, they were like fucking crazy eyes, right? And then the paintwork was shit. The texture paintwork was shit, and it was packaged so poorly it got broken in shipping, even though it weighed like a pound.
The gauge cluster did?
Yeah.
No, I don't
2 pounds. And he charged me $100 plus shipping of $35, whatever.
Okay.
It was such shit. I was like, hey man, here's your shit. This is it. And he's like, send it back, I'll fix it and send it back. And I was like, I'm not paying to send this back. Like, I'm like, listen, had this not got broken in shipping, the quality was such shit. There was no way that I'd ever be happy with this. It's fucking garbage.
It's why I use custom gauges.
So
the only time
I commented, I was like, listen, here's pictures. I went on his little group and he fucking deleted it. I was like, here's pictures of his work. Here's pictures of what his packaging for his shipping. And here's what I got. I don't want him to give me a refund. I don't want him to fucking replace it. I just want you people to fucking know that this is what you get when you give.
Who's making these clusters, Drew?
Zach, blah, 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 blah. I can't pronounce his last name.
Those
My
are
dude
pretty
out in
dope.
Texas, Katie.
Now, this is literally like 10 fucking plus years ago, but yeah, it was pretty terrible.
My entire struggle, bro.
So
No,
one
Zach-
time,
Zach,
Matt, I
Sorry,
don't think it was designed for you to jack off into it, man.
yeah, it was.
it's a little crusty around the corners.
Oh, it was designed for Drew to jack off. Yeah. The hood was really crispy.
Yeah. No, so Zach was
They used too much starch on the hood when they ironed it.
Zach was super well known for like in the truck scene, like lower trucks and stuff. That's how I knew about him. I was like, hey, I want a cluster for my.
It was like a trim bezel piece
Oh,
to make sure you put more gauges on the.
I see. Nah, I just been doing the whole cluster from Zach, and when I first bought the first one, I was like, hey, it's for a stereo truck, blah blah. He's like, yeah, man, it's got lifetime warranty, blah blah. I'm like, all right, you sure? So, yeah, I'm like, all right. I told him this is before we were friends. I said, look, I'm not going to hold you to it. I respect that you're willing to warranty something that long. I mean, yeah, but I'm not going to hold you to that for this because that'd be rude of me. That'd be disrespectful of me to hold you to that, putting it in the Tahoe.
In a base car.
But no, it actually lasted a while. And then Steven bought one. A whole bunch of audio guys have bought one now.
They're nice. Awesome. I've been ripped off one time that I could think of, but this was basically the beginning of the internet for us public creatures. I mean, this was like in 96.
Damn, Paul.
Yeah. So in like 96, I started my first website, and it was an online car stereo store. And I would buy stuff. I swear to God, I was like 16 years old. I'd buy stuff off eBay, and I'd have it on my website, and people would, when they'd buy it, I'd buy it on eBay and have it shipped to them. So I had JLW3s on there, I think, and this is basically what ended my business. I had a pretty good order for that. It wasn't even that much. I was 16. This is very early, and I'm just fucking around kind of thing. But I think it was an order for just 6 subs, and it was like $1,200 or $1,300. I bought them on eBay, had them shipped. I made like $400 on the order or something like that, and the chargeback, bing, got hit, wiped me completely out. I had no money, no nothing, and that was it. That was the end of it.
Damn.
Yeah.
God
I was just
damn
too
it.
young and didn't know shit.
That's the biggest lesson of this whole fucking show.
Yeah, if I was 5 years older,
if you would have just kept on chooching along,
who knows where it would have been? Yeah,
you could have been one of the first motherfuckers ever. I mean, did you really say 1996?
Let me see. I was 16, so 98.
Holy fuck!
Damn, bro, you could have been the Amazon of Amazon.
I could have been something, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Hey, bro, hey,
you could have fucking been somebody, man.
I did it.
Hey, you're somebody to me.
I started smoking weed, and then look what happened.
So we got a speaker box here, right?
Yeah, that looks like a speaker box.
Speaker box.
Ooh, so pretty. I've been thinking about lighting today. How I'm going to light my shit up.
I've been getting bougie.
Wow. Look at you.
Bougie. Yeah, I need to figure out how to make lighting and shit happen in Fusion.
Bro, let me tell you right now. This is the first time doing that stuff that I've ever had my PC go, hold on, bro. Hold on, son. Calm down.
What about when I sent you the box for the Raiden?
So whenever you sent me that original one, when I had the last setup, no, that crippled my computer for a minute.
Yeah, she was like.
Since then, I've been good because I got 12900K 3080 Ti. I mean, I got some gangster-ish stuff. Every time I do one of those render, because I do the full render pretty one in 4K just because it's better. GPU 90% usage, CPU 45% usage. I can hear the fans in the closet going, help!
I should put lasers in my shit.
Holy shit. Look at Stephen Dunn's comment.
I read that. Was this recently or is this a long time ago?
Was that on VinWiki?
Dude, because the Wild Wild West days of eBay, you could have ripped off people for a long time before they fucked you off.
Really?
Really? Oh, dude, when eBay first started, you just ship a box of rocks, dude. Here's an amp, $1,000 amp, whatever. It was crazy back in the day when it first started. There was no cell protection, no bioprotection, no nothing.
You're like, 25 grand, 50 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand, 50 cars of ripping people off, or no? Chris, was he making money? Was he legit or no? Steven?
Steve.
Legit, not legit. Tell us that. He's for
Wiki.
sure gonna say gray area as fuck. Or he's gonna say total scam. He was legit.
Yeah, VinWiki guy. I knew it. I knew it was a VinWiki guy. No, hold on. I'm gonna find it. What'd you say?
What did he do? Why did they ban him if it was legit?
Why did they ban him? He was making too much money and they were hating?
I wonder if he was buying, putting up secondary auctions and buying a car that was also up for sale and doing a whole flip thing. Just making the middle money.
Dude named Rob. It's Rob Pitts, I think is his name. So just look up VinWiki eBay ban whenever y'all get time. It's gonna be like the top one. It's a story about how he got banned for selling cars on eBay for life.
Huh.
You know what VinWiki is, huh?
No, what is that?
What? VinWiki tells car stories, and it's an app for like tracking VINs, mainly of like more rare vehicles. But VinWiki, they have big YouTube following. They tell car stories and just very interesting channel, like a bunch of very interesting people. The Cannonball runs, they'll drive across country from the Red Bull garage to Portofino. The dude who owned VinWiki was not the one who he was one of the more recent guys who got kind of well known for breaking the record.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, the 1.68 million
that
subscribers.
record like the third day of COVID.
Yeah, so there's in like the book
that shit up.
In like the record book, there's an asterisk next to anything done in 2020, 2021, saying doesn't really count.
Why? Because people have more time on their hands?
There was no traffic.
I would say that asterisk shouldn't mean much, but like,
I mean, they knocked like
it shouldn't
hours
mean much.
off of
You know what? I take it back. The asterisk next to the record books shouldn't mean much. Barry Bonds asterisk.
All right,
no.
So
everybody was roiding at the
COVID
time.
asterisk. No, those dudes were still pissing in fucking goddamn bottles and giving it the business, risking their lives.
So Ed Bolian had the record for a 28-hour, 50-minute from New York, Red Bull Garage to the Portofino in LA. The run during COVID was 26 hours, 38 minutes.
Oh,
they knocked 2 hours off of it.
Yeah, they destroyed it. I knew they destroyed it. I looked up those numbers previously because I was like, fuck yeah. But
that record almost got beat again.
Shit, not risking anybody else's life.
Yeah, they risked a lot less. And that record almost got beat again. I remember watching a VinWiki video. A dude, so most of these runs are done in like 4-door sedans that look, and they make them kind of look stockish. The dude who beat it used to own part of AMS Performance, so they specialize in Audi, stuff like that. So he had an Audi S6 that they made look like a Ford Taurus with like vinyl and stuff, but it made like 900 horsepower or something. But they had it turned down to 700 to be more reliable. Anyway, so that was the 4-door car that did it. After that, still 2020, I think, a dude in a C8 Vet with like they add fuel tanks. Dude, a C8 Vet was like an hour ahead of this guy coming into LA and hit traffic from a really bad wreck and ended up missing it.
Damn.
But that was my thought. Even you saying he was legit, I'm saying he was gray area as fuck.
He was selling shit and delivering it. He wasn't
Audi
scamming
S8
people completely. But
yeah, he wasn't just stealing money.
He was scamming the system.
Giving people garbage.
Yeah. And then using his other shit to make his reviews higher. That's kind of like if you go on Amazon and see something that's got like 20,000 reviews, you have to go into the review section and filter out it'll be a stack of 10 different products that this one seller sells, all stacked into the same clump of reviews. Like it might be a TV that comes in like 8 different sizes, and maybe the 38 inch is a piece of shit, but the 50's good or whatever. You have to like go through there. So I could see how people use that to manipulate their ratings.
Where am I pulling up?
It's crazy they caught on to his ass though.
Where am I pulling up?
It's been a lot of work.
Yeah, the Cannonball stuff. I always thought that'd be fun to try, but I don't want to go to jail like that.
It'd be fun to do it.
Could you kill somebody else?
I'm just going off memory.
145 miles an hour.
You have to average over like 110 or 107 or something like that.
Is there like a limit to how many hours you could drive a day? Or can you drive 24 hours in a day?
What do you mean?
They let you? Will they let you like be on the road the whole time on that race, or is it like a limit?
Oh, there's a 2-person. So the Cannonball can be done with as many people as you want.
2 people.
Okay. It could be 3 or 4. It doesn't matter. But there is a solo record also.
Okay,
it's a separate record.
What I'm saying is,
I got 100.
They'll let you drive.
The dude that did it with the solo record was on amphetamines.
27-hour, 54 minutes, done in a Cadillac ATS, also in 2020.
On amphetamines.
Probably. Oh, guarantee it.
Look,
Well,
I mean,
I don't
like,
do it,
there's
man.
no like official.
But you know what? If I took
27 hours.
fucking an Adderall, I'll see you in New York in 29 hours. We'll have breakfast. I'll still be awake.
I still want to try to do that 160 at 160. We
Mhm.
gotta do that, guys.
I think a
Woo!
CRX probably be the easiest for that.
I think so too, for sure.
So
I'm not scared
there's
of the 160 DB.
there's
I'm
a
scared of the
northern
160
route.
mile an hour.
160 miles an hour, bro.
For sure.
That is not a stable little tiny car.
I bet you
So-
could put a little burp box in a Ferrari or something and do it.
So what he's talking about is the dude went from New York to LA, and then so that's the northern route. Then there's a southern route for the Cannonball that's LA to Florida. It's I-10 the entire way.
Crazy. It would be fun.
Sheesh.
I couldn't do it. I remember being on I-10 on the way home from Vegas and seeing 853 mile sign. So 853 miles of Houston. Huh. Okay. Fear and loathing in Las Vegas.
I'm in. That's a fucking great movie, and I've done a lot of those drugs. I'm not an advocate of people doing drugs, but if you're gonna try, be ready and optimistic. And then don't do them again. Like, don't do them immediately after. And if you feel like they might have a chance of fucking up your life a little bit, don't do them anymore. But maybe
That's
try them if you
part-
really want it real bad. I don't know. Drugs are bad, but
Depends.
they're also fun. Like, sorry.
So we're
Don't
gonna
do
have
fentanyl, though. That seems really bad.
That's bad. So have y'all seen that train thing in Ohio?
Yeah, that looks awful.
That looks
Yeah,
not
that
good.
was gnarly, dude. I saw something about it today.
We're
never-
doing a controlled burn. There's a dot in the fucking stratosphere, hundreds of miles wide, that doesn't look like it wants to mix with the rest of the stratosphere.
Really? I didn't
It
see
looks
that. I
fucked
just
up,
saw the
Drew.
burning.
Drew, pull that
I
shit
just saw
up.
the
Show us.
trees or the train burning. I didn't even hear about this shit until they were like, "Oh my god, dude, what?
Yeah, the black
not
hurricane,
real.
bro.
That's not fucking real."
You know what? I am like, oh fuck, a hurricane. I don't want to be anywhere near that shit at all. I'm running away. I'm getting away. Black hurricane, fuck you all the way. I'm out. I
Wow,
don't want
that's
nothing to do with the
gross,
black
dude.
hurricane. Cool. Fuck
Holy
no.
shit! I can't believe that's real. That was real. That's from this. Drew, you're muted, dog.
That's really real. Yes,
That's fucking crazy.
it was either burn it or it might explode. So burn it.
I kind of am excited about the explosion though.
What?
Yeah, it was either
So you're
burn
telling
it
me
or
this
it could explode.
The train wrecked.
Mhm.
Stuff spilled everywhere.
Like
and they were
28
afraid if it exploded. so they
didn't
lit it
know.
on
They were
fire?
still-
train fucking cars. Like it was a big one, and they were just fucking piling up. Fucking
So-
just
It was spilling, but there were a bunch of tankers that were just leaking and or on fire.
But let me ask you something. How does lighting it on fire stop it from exploding? This is where I'm lost.
Explosions come from pressure. So there were
You ever
So
heard
they
of
were
what
just
a-
like, so
what a-
gut
a
everything and light it on
levy,
fire?
boiling liquid exploding vapor.
Yeah. So they were so they had they had opened it. They were just doing a controlled burn with it. They were venting it out of the tanks.
Wow.
Imagine like a blevy compounding to multiple blevies, gentlemen. Steve, do you know what a
Hopefully-
blevy is? Can you look? Can we
No.
see like a blevy video from YouTube?
Hopefully they
or
get
something?
the pressure fucking right. Don't screw something up and
Well,
like cause a
it's all it's done now. It's over.
Yeah, it's still burning, but every once in a while, like a tanker will like a train tanker, right? Imagine a fucking big fucking tanker. Here we go. What do we got?
That's a blevy.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be.
here we go. Watch this.
So it's leaking and it's on fire, but it's not leaking fast enough.
Okay.
So the liquid inside is an explosive or a flammable material. And so it's getting real hot. And when it reaches pressure, that will explode and vaporize the liquid, the liquid is exploding while also igniting and exploding.
Gotcha. Expanding while igniting.
Boiling liquid, exploding vapor.
It looks shitty. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Where in Ohio is that?
I'm not sure.
J-Pat. J-Pat lives right down the street from that shit. They burn it because the byproduct of burning it is lesser of a concern versus raw product in the ground. I see.
Oh. So that's the reason for burning it. They're like, it'll be in the air, and overall toxicity will dissipate across hella people and make people sick and die of cancer over the next 100 years, rather than the byproduct in the ground, killing the people right there. That way, we don't have to pay for as many people that die.
Well, it is not.
You can't
going
track
great.
it. You can't blame it on us if it's in
It
the
is not
air.
going-
I mean,
It's all-
okay, listen to what I'm going to say. A fucking lawyer told them to light that fire.
probably, yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Hey,
It was messed up.
you know what?
Y'all remember last year the railroad unions were about to go on strike because of the railroads gutting their budget and manpower and causing massive safety issues and blah blah blah, and like it was a big thing. The railroads were about to shut down because all of the unions were about to go on strike at once over safety issues, and they resolved it. And you guys are seeing this a lot more because they're still the staff is gutted. Like I have a friend of mine, race car guy. I know him through that. He's been a union railroad guy for years. He's been saying that it's been bad for a long time. Like they're just cutting budgets on everything. But then, the company that had the derailment last week.
Every fucking day? Sorry, Drew. I'm sorry.
I believe it. Most just aren't bad. That's like you don't hear about most airplane crashes. Like there's not a ton of airplane crashes. There's not a ton, but there's some pretty often. But you just don't hear about it. People don't die normally. Like I think it's like 97% of plane crash survivors live. Like plane crash victims live. You just only hear about the bad ones. But so from
really?
It was a weird statistic. I didn't believe it. I had to look it up because most of them are like little planes that just like crash on landing or take off or like on the ground. But
right. That makes sense.
My friend who's a railroad guy said that it's going to keep getting worse, like these railroad issues, because they're just cutting everything. And then the company that had the derailment last month announced a $10 billion stock buyback. $10 billion with a B. Instead of bolstering safety and workforces, stock buyback. Yay!
Money, 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 money. Somebody's got to make money. Nothing this month.
I tell you who's not making money this week. Those stock investors from that railroad company.
Yeah.
But
my crypto's doing all right today.
Hell yeah, brother.
What's it doing today? Yeah, there was a good day today.
Probably an average of 10% across all crypto today.
Yeah, it's been good.
Anything else happening in y'all's world?
Anything happened to me fun recently? No, nothing. Not really.
What about not fun?
No. I don't know. Nothing.
Okay, Steve,
did
been that
bad.
you jack off last night, or did you get some poontang?
I didn't get any yesterday.
You're just a side piece then.
I'm not any piece.
You're a fourth piece.
I'm a middle piece right now. I'm just out there in the ether, just floating around it. I was actually supposed to go meet this chick tonight, but
her boyfriend cooped her up for the second day, huh?
You'll have that on them big jobs.
It ain't like that. But no, I did do like a I guess a date night last night. Just no poontang.
There you go.
So
that's kind of cool. All right, I'll tell you.
Went
on a little bit of a date last night. chick that you went on a date with is probably pretty cool, especially if she was trying to give you no poon.
I've known her for a good minute now, but yeah, she's just
Is she a dude?
She's tough to crack. No, she's not a dude.
Tough to crack. It sounds like really good.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, then I know, she's not just out there slaying it around, so that's good.
Hey, bro.
I mean, well, I'm in Vegas, so the girls out here they might be hot, but most of them are dirty as fuck, man.
What's the population?
It's the same everywhere, bro.
Oh yeah, probably. I don't know.
That's a bunch of
It's the
people.
only place I've ever lived. What's the population here? Like 2 point something?
This is just Las Vegas proper, I guess, is 650,000.
I thought Drew was about to hit me with some stat about women in Vegas are
actually not whores. They're
more
super clean.
likely to send you a picture of their butthole than any other woman in the nation.
Vegas Metro is 2.2 million.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, besides that, was good. Had a good night. What is this?
Scott Dilbeck, he's like, I'll spank it on the days I get Poontang just to make him work harder.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, you'll have that. You'll have that. Well, guys.
Oh, now you're gonna fucking leave.
No,
Okay,
I'll
Mr.
stay.
Hour and a
What's
half
up? I'm
on
down.
your own.
I'm in.
Well, you guys can stay. I'm leaving. I'm going to get a beer and a bite to eat. So
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking hungry as well. Yeah.
But next week,
Drew?
Kyle Rutherford's going to join us. Sounds
Yes,
like
next week we're going to talk
Clippo
about
on.
Clippo. We're going to talk about kicker builds. We're going to talk about me being at kicker and at the training seminar at Eldridge's
Sounds.
place.
Yep.
What?
Okay, shit. That's this weekend, huh?
Mobile Soundstage Engineering.
God damn. All right, sweet. We're going to have a great show next week. So tune in, boys.
We always have great shows. Even has there been a show that we were like, man, that one wasn't a good one? We always
No,
do.
they're all good. But we have some hot topics come up. You go in the kicker.
Going to kicker.
Talk about
Getting
kicker.
some SQ training.
SQ shit.
When we got the fucking man, we got Kyle Rutherford next week. Again, I'm gonna do live feeds 2, 3, 4 times. Steve's yawning. Hella big. Look at Steve yawn. Watch him yawn. And he's sleeping. Somehow he nutted right there. That was weird. So all right, gentlemen. You guys have a great night. Fucking love you. The rest of you guys go fix your engine noise and see you guys in a few days.
Fix your engine noise, boys.
Later.
Later.